Yeah, that's good. You get to turn your mics on. We Sarah did a nice job at last council meeting.
Well,
Morning. Morning. Morning, Brendan.
Okay, it is 9 o'clock and I'll call the meeting of the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Schwer, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 2 on the agenda is call for public comment. Public comment can be done in person or by telephone at the following 2 phone numbers: 605-882-6248 or 605-882-6297. And we have a place toward the end of the agenda for a public comment. And we have some people here that intend to make a comment, I'm pretty sure. Are there any conflict, number 3, are there any conflict of interest items for any of the commissioners?
No.
None for me. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve our agenda.
So moved.
I'll second it.
And second by Schwer. Any discussion? I know we have some folks for public comment and there will be a need for an executive session after that, correct?
Yes,
Okay, for a contract or litigation?
I believe that'd be, would that be contract?
Right, contract. Okay, I think so. Okay, so hearing no other changes, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We'll say no. That motion carries. Number 5, action to approve our minutes from last week.
so move.
Second.
Johnson, second by Waterman. Any changes or corrections? Corrections or additions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We'll say no. That motion carries. Monthly reports, auditor.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We're still just busy working on, we finalized the provisional budget. We're starting to work on the levy work that is coming up, figuring out the growths and CPIs for everyone who will be submitting their budgets to the state and Department of Revenue. So that's kind of the biggest things right now.
Okay. And as director, Sheila. Let's see. So Okay.
He's coming in.
in the meantime,
Yeah.
we have next is budget request. And Terry, were you gonna share with us the coroner's
Yes.
request? Why don't you come up and we'll get started with that. So we're on number 7 on the agenda.
Morning, Terry.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you guys? Good.
Oh. We'll go back in a second.
Okay.
It's all right. Budget here. Okay, I got it up on the screen. I think it's the latest one, but good. If you want to give us the lowdown.
We raised the budget just a little bit from last year, from 22 to 23. If you go to Bert, that amount requested, I guess. For wages, we bumped it to 25,000.
Okay.
Depending on, that would be depending on the calls. If we had more calls or less calls, so pretty much it could either go bump it from $300 a call to $350, or it could be to $325, depending on the amount of calls.
Okay.
So I'm asking you guys to look at that.
Okay, so you're paid by, just so people know, you're paid by the call.
Yes.
The coroner's paid by.
Yep,
number
and then the
of calls.
corner, it doesn't include, I do not get any benefits from the county or state. So we're just strictly per call.
Okay.
That's it.
Terry, what does that equal per call then?
Right now I'm at 300, and if we get 70 calls, we're looking at maybe probably about 350 a call.
Okay.
And if we get more than that, you're looking at maybe 325 a call. It just depends on the amount of calls. Right now, we are at, I'm sorry, I had it. I did it. I'm at 37 calls for the year, and you know, that'll double for sure. We'll go to at least 70 calls.
Okay,
So,
okay.
for sure.
All right, and then can you, on line 422, the professional services, that's you have 25,000, can you elucidate a little bit on that one?
That we kept in from last year. That is for if we, on the building thing.
Okay.
So in case, I have no idea.
Right.
So
Okay.
I just kept it in there.
Okay,
So
Mr. Chair,
yeah, go ahead.
do you have any information on that building?
no, I was gonna ask you guys if I could get permission to go ahead and do specs on like a 20 by 30 building. And get specs on it, and then I'll bring it to you,
Mhm.
and then we'll probably just put it to bid.
Okay.
However we do it.
You guys are all right with that?
We need
Okay
to
with
get,
it moving
yeah, we need to get an idea. We need to get an idea, so.
Yeah, we need to know exactly how much,
Location and.
yeah, all that.
To do the specs, so were you gonna have to pay somebody to do that, or is that something that's
No, I
pretty
was gonna-
straightforward?
I was gonna see if I could meet with the maintenance guy
Okay, all
and,
right.
and just work with him on it. Yeah. He's done enough property stuff
I
here.
mean, if you can start it in 23, it would be less than 24, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of a carryover amount.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
all right.
Yep.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see some progress on that.
Yeah, I just been it's been super busy. Holy cow. So, no, I had people gonna give me some bids, but they never finished them. So, I'll just get specs and then we'll put it out for general bid.
Okay,
Mhm. Okay,
all right.
yeah, so. Just so people know that I think this is the first time I've had the coroner actually talk about his budget in front of the commission, so it's kind of a historic moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's busy. I mean, it's way busier than you guys think. There's some equipment that I will be, getting that will be under, so I don't, it doesn't cost a whole lot, but I mean, there's stuff that I still haven't got that we still need, and so it's just taking time to get everything, kind of seeing what we need and what we don't need, and so it's moving along.
Where are you storing this cooler?
At my building right now.
Okay, well, that's a good spot.
Yeah.
Reasonable rent.
Yeah, so it's not put up yet. It's still in the crate, because it's pretty big, but it's all right.
Just so the public knows, that's what we're talking about with this building. This is
Yes.
a refrigerated unit.
Yes, to hold a refrigeration unit, and so I can meet with families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments for the coroner?
No, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
Okay.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Madam Director of Equalization. Going back to monthly report.
Morning, Shauna.
All right,
I'll be short and sweet. We were just sitting here a couple weeks ago. The appraisers are still out in the field working on the reappraisal. The office staff and I are working on new sales splits, new plats. There's been an influx of new plats lately, so we're getting them implemented and working on that stuff. So
Okay,
that's all I really got.
thank you. Any
Okay.
questions or comments? Okay, thanks, Shauna.
All right.
thank you.
Thanks, Shauna.
Okay, back to number 7. Do we want to cover HSA real quick? Let me see if I got the right one here.
Is that in our books?
So this is one of the nonprofits that we didn't get to last week on the budget. So we're back on number 7.
101,444, it's in with your mental health tab. basically, what Carrie did, the director there, is they did a 3% increase is what you're seeing
Okay,
from last year.
What, 3%?
3%.
so
Yes.
just 3 budget lines, okay.
So one is their halfway house and then the ATCO portion of it and then their mental health. Itself.
So that, okay, so the halfway house, is that the, that's not the new, is that the new regional facility? Okay, so that is, okay. That's what I thought. All right. Okay. Any comments? So, yeah, Carrie Johnston is the person that is in the lead for this part. And so different local jurisdictions do help with HSA because of the mental health needs in the community. So. All right. And there's just real quick, maybe we'll touch, the last thing is commissioner's budget, correct? I think we haven't touched on, so let's touch on that real quick. The commissioner's budget, so that's activity 111. It's so this one does not show the laptops that we might want to consider for.
Yeah, in the book, I have both though. I have both proposals.
So-
When I did my provisional budget, I had to go off from the original one because of the deadline and so, but you have both of them in there
Okay,
in your books.
So unlike the rest of this adds a 3% salary increase and then the other factors for the other compensation, but we don't do any health benefits as commissioners. We are eligible to pay into a dental or a vision plan. And we can do the supplemental retirement if we want to pay into that. And then everything else, the other thing I would highlight. So I put this together so we can still do changes to it. This is the provisional one that's been submitted as provisional. Line 429, that's if we needed to do some kind of criminal justice study. So that would pay for a consultant if we needed to do that. So we can talk about that if you guys have other ideas. And then line 422 is that went up to cover the cost of mostly of our HR consultant. And then the laptops would fit, and they're not shown here. That would be under 426. So that would add roughly, if we did say 3 laptops for some commissioners, that would be roughly $2,000 a piece with all the stuff that goes with it.
Each.
Yeah, each one. So anyway, comments, questions on that one?
Go back to 429. You said,
Yeah, if we wanted to do, we budgeted the same last year. We didn't use it. So if we wanted to do some kind of a criminal justice, as we're watching what's going on in the jail, my concern is that so
what's that number?
70,000.
that's the 70,000.
$70,000. Yeah.
That's one. So that's what we had last year. So, I would rather, it'd be probably better to, if we think it's been kind of hard to tell what's going on with the jail population, mostly because of COVID. Now we're seeing, the population has been going up this past week pretty significantly. So I'm thinking we might want to just be ready to do that if we need to. So.
Okay.
So any other questions on the commissioner side? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Commissioners contingent, that's the next budget, right? Okay, so the next page, commissioners contingency. So that's for the unexpected things where we could, different throughout the county budget that we might cover. So we've not expended any of that so far this year, according to this. So but adding 25,000 to that's a separate budget.
And those laptops come out of that commissioner contingency fund?
I guess we paid for them this year.
If they would be paid this year.
I mean,
we
if-
Yeah, you could.
slide it over
Yeah,
on there.
yeah.
The budget would
Potentially,
be-
then we wouldn't have to
the
increase that one.
budget would cover it. Could cover it.
Yeah.
The supplies,
You may
budget.
have enough in the supplies budget.
We actually might, yeah, well, some for some, yeah, some of it. Okay, any other comments, questions? All right, so that's it for number 7. Okay, so number 8 is discussion and possible action to approve a new veteran service office location and lease agreement. I do, so come on down.
Morning, Todd.
Well, Todd.
Oh, good morning, commissioners. I come before you for I believe that you have 2 lease contracts in front of you for the address of 1352 22nd Street Northeast. It's located over by the Casey's on the east side of town, just to the north of the bank there. I believe it's the old, there's an Edward Jones on half of it, and it was Farmers Insurance.
State
on
Farm.
State Farm.
State
State Farm.
Steve Gales.
Steve Gales there. He vacated the other half, and that's the side that we're looking at. It's got a nice entryway, handicap accessibility, good parking. It currently has 4 offices and kind of a break room in it there. Big thing, it's just accessibility, handicap accessible, bathroom accessible, handicap parking.
And just a reminder, so the issues we're having with the auditorium right now, it's a lot has to do with the handicap access and the vent and the HVAC.
Yes,
So-
currently the city auditorium, for a veteran to get up the stairs, down the stairs, there's no handicap accessibility. There's no handicap accessibility to get to the bathrooms. So that's the big thing also, along with the AC on the south office. We were looking to move over there to have a better set of kind of having it when you meet with a veteran in our current offices. Even if you close the doors, it's tough. You got to kind of speak a little lower and stuff like that for confidentiality and stuff like that. That's why we were looking to go to the other south office. So we would have that in the new area. We would have a little more space and stuff from that nature. So.
And the proximity to the CBOC.
Yep, we're just a block and a half, I believe, to the north of the CBOC roughly.
It looks to me the difference between these 2 lease agreements is one, it includes
The city has
Internet.
no intentions of or repairing or doing anything across the street.
I don't know. All I was told when I talked with the city rep over there is that
Thank you.
currently the operational budget does not hold that amount of money. And if they do, I don't think they're gonna, they don't want, as far as I know, they're not looking to put any more money into it than they need to.
And the handicap ramp or the handicap chair that's in there now is parts are not available for repair any longer.
Yeah, that went down last May of 2022 timeframe. And they didn't do anything. And I know that they tried to put a new motherboard inside of it, but supposedly it only goes to 12 volts and they needed to go to 24 volts. Be whatever. So, and it just doesn't work. So
What is there, about 8 steps in there?
yeah, at least 8, I
I
would
think there's
say.
more than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say probably 10 to 12.
Todd, looking at these 2 lease agreements, one includes phone, internet, cable service. The other one does not. Is that the difference between the 2?
Nope. Actually, when you look at them, we're responsible for our own phone and internet. What that brings
Okay.
for is the one has the electrical, gas, water and sewer. The utilities, basically, that's why the one is a little bit higher than the other one per month is because of the utilities. We asked for that to begin with, and then we also asked for another one with just straight away, and we would have to take care of the utilities.
Sure.
From that, and that's why you see there's a slight increase there on the years going ahead. First, second, and third year is because he doesn't know what the cost of utilities could incur if it goes up or from.
Right.
And he did check on the past year's records of utilities. Do you remember that number? It was in the neighborhood of a little over $200.
I believe you're correct, Council.
If I've read this over, but I missed it. What happens if this in the future, if this doesn't meet our facility, say our needs in a year and a half? What is our escape clause and what is the penalty for withdrawal?
Well, I think it does explain this.
It's really.
You may not have that whole part, I just did the main part.
Yeah, I don't know if you have that whole part. I didn't get that far into that from that standpoint. The lease, I can provide this to you. Probably be the best thing to do.
I had it in my
Default.
e-copy. So it might not be here, but there was a provision.
There's a late fee there.
I think one of the,
It's $5 per day, but that's based on what day and when do we pay our bill?
That's also noted in that full copy. I think it's the 8th of the month.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
have that.
I have the-
That's
okay, I missed that.
You have that page in with that.
Yeah.
If you're late. and what
If you go to page 5 of 9,
No.
default possession.
Early termination, I think is what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
so the question that I would have, I guess, is what are we spending right now? And is there money in the budget to increase? It's gonna be a sizable increase per year in rent.
It is. I believe when we met the first, when I started researching this, somebody told me that was $600 is what we're currently spending a month. Have not been able to verify that.
Yeah, it's $250 a month. So for the full year, it's like $3,000.
Okay,
For the city building.
Yes.
and we're gonna go up to, the first year would be from September 23 to August 23 for 12 months would be a increase of just about $15,600. That's with utilities figured in. That's not the lower rate without the utilities.
We have that in a budget.
I don't pay for my rent right now. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what budget that comes out of.
It's coming from your, but it's
What line number does it come out of?
Services.
yeah.
Product services.
I'll look at that.
Maybe some, might be under government buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought that was
Yeah.
coming out of.
Yeah, after I said I'm looking at that.
Brenda, that number that you gave in reference to what we're paying for rent now, was that for each office over there? Because that's where the whole.
Yeah, the original lease was $250 a month. And the original leases never changed.
Mhm.
It just continued on unless there was any other things that needed to be added or taken away. So still in good place.
So we would have an increase of the first year of $15,600. And then the next year's would be $19,152. And then the third year of the contract would be $19,728. So within our budget, I've never ever allotted or counted for rent in mine in the past. So yeah, that would be an increase to my, the remainder of the year, I would have an increase from that standpoint. I looked at my budget again, I was off when I figured up the budget because of the increase in the pay and stuff of that nature. So I'm gonna be about $10,000 short. That's adding in the rent if this goes forward. And then I would have to do an increase for my 2024 budget of about $18,784.
Is there any state or federal money that might be involved?
Just the money that we get from the state as far as being the VSOs. From that standpoint, I don't know of any other funds.
It's not too late to make a budget.
Yeah, that's just.
No,
Change
no,
this budget, so we got time to do that. So
Yeah, we do have time to do that, but, okay, so just keep. So for the remaining, if we were to do this, for the remaining months of this year, it might be commissioner's contingency. It might be, we have to look at what's in the government buildings budget, but, I think that's a decent possibility. And then then we need to look at maybe we might want to look at actually, different budget lines around the budget too, I think, too. I mean, if we want to cover this. So not just add it. So,
I wouldn't have a problem moving forward with this request. I think it makes sense to have it next to the VA over there, the proximity. I know that you need additional room. However, before I would be willing to vote on this, I would want our state's attorney to review this lease
Please.
agreement. Just to make sure that everything's covered in it that we need covered.
and then maybe map out the budget impact just a little bit more
Yeah.
detail, I'd say, The other thing to keep in mind that we talked about, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, was that this could provide some space for other counties, VSOs, since, if they're interested in that, because their veterans come to the Seabach in Watertown as well. So it might be a convenient place for them to maybe,
I'm sure all of you here know where I stand on this request, having did the research and found this facility, it's move-in ready. I mean, if you sign a contract today, they can move in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, they can move right in. It's a very nice facility. It is new. What concerns me probably the most is our current facility is not handicapped accessible, and we could, if somebody wished, we could probably be in big trouble, because it's a veteran service public office and they can't get in. That's all there is to it. Beside the fact that the utilities, the air conditioning doesn't work, those guys, they could sweat it out, but getting people in and out is really an issue that we need to address. And
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
it's more money,
Yeah.
but I think if you go out, and we found that if we looked at other rental properties, it's in line.
Mr. Chair.
Good.
How long would it take to review this? Is this something we could have you do real quick and we can come back, bring this back for?
Well, I think everything is done the next meeting. Give me
Okay.
time
Is that
to
soon enough?
questions.
Is that-
We're gonna need time.
Is
to
it around
follow
the
up.
Okay.
Any- So that's okay with that.
Unless somebody wants to make a motion, I'm okay.
Okay, so we don't need to make a motion. Yeah, we'll just, so we got that's possible action. So put on next week's agenda and hopefully finish the discussion.
I'll try to get a better idea on map out the budget line numbers and actually find out what the budget line number, where that money is coming.
Just
from.
just a general consensus of the board. Would you prefer that we look at a 3-year budget? The third year, three consecutive years, or the year by year? As Todd outlined there.
You mean with the lease?
I think they're both 3-year, both of these are 3-year.
These are both 3 years, and
Oh.
would you rather look at a 1 year, 2-year, 3-year? Would you rather keep the utilities in or keep the utilities out? I
Yes.
guess I don't.
That's the key question there.
Yeah, you have to probably look at the utilities and.
Does that have an issue as far as how we pay the utilities from this?
I would imagine then they will just bill the county, those utilities, what is.
They're
what-
gonna come out of a separate budget line, utilities and building upkeep, maintenance.
Well, just like all of our other ones in the line items, we have that
Right.
from other entities. So yeah.
So you'd want to break them out and separate them.
Okay,
It's, the only thing is that we could be locked in for 3 years, which is good. In the fact that we would know where we're gonna be for the next 3 years anyway. Yeah.
Okay, the last question, what were the costs of moving? Would that be something you could cover in this year's budget with?
we've already contacted, we have a good connection with the National Guard Armory.
Oh,
So
well, okay.
we're gonna seek some assistance from the National Guard here.
They got their boxes packed over there already.
Yeah, all right. All right.
I just want her to review that. I have
So
no issues with it.
leave both options on the table then for next week.
Mhm.
I'll get you the full leases. You can look them through better. We'll have Becky review them. And I'll work with Todd
Budget.
and I'll work with Todd on that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. Okay, number 9, action to approve advertising and hiring of a state's attorney administrative support position to fill a vacancy.
Morning, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
So I am requesting permission to advertise to fill an administrative support position in my office created by a vacancy. It had been a position that had been part-time. I had put in my budget for this position to go full-time, the proposal next year for it. So what I would like is to be able to advertise it as a full-time position. Visiting with human resources, I do think it's a different pool of applicants if we're looking at a part-time position versus a full-time
yeah.
position on it. The other item on it, I'm mixing our 2 item agendas, is in the meantime, while we're advertising, permission to hire a temporary person to fill that position on a part-time basis. We do have a former employee that we've reached out to that would be willing to come in on a temporary basis. She's not interested in coming full-time or anything, just on a temporary basis, so.
You need 2 motions on this?
Well, we're on number 9 right now. So so as far as an action to approve advertising and hiring of state's attorneys. Motion by Johnson,
I'll second it.
second by Schwer. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. That motion carries. Number 10, action to hire a part-time temporary state's attorney administrative support position.
So moved.
Second.
So motion by Johnson, second by Waterman. Anything else to add on that one?
No.
Okay.
She's
Any
ready
other-
to start tomorrow.
Any other questions?
go.
Any questions or discussion?
No.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. That motion carries. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Okay, so number 11, action to approve South Dakota Community Health Worker Grant Funds.
Okay, so this is the second year that they have applied. She got permission from you earlier and it was accepted. So basically, the grant will cover salaries for any work connected to the CHWs in her office. It also includes all of Paige's hours and Carrie's work on the Medicaid building and as a CHW. And then Sarah's time associated with the CHW program. In addition, it covers office expenses, mileage, and other expenses for the CHW program and the sustainability plan to have the Medicaid coverage.
Move to approve.
Second.
I didn't hear, was that, okay,
Van
so
Dusen.
motion by Van Dusen, second by Johnson. So this is the thing that this would authorize the chair to sign that particular, it's a digital signature that, which is kind of interesting. So don't do that.
There's no matching funds.
No, that's correct. There's no
That's a
matching
grant.
funds, but yeah, we need to
Yeah.
act as a commission and then
To allow-
sign the paperwork,
Yeah,
basically.
so that can be part of the motion and also to have the commission or the
Correct,
chair
yeah,
sign.
that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion includes having the chair sign. All right, any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. That motion carries. Okay. So number 12 is discussion possible action to authorize the chair to sign a letter of support for a grant application to be submitted by Community Transit of Watertown System Incorporated. So Terry, you want to come up and explain to us a little bit on that one? Thank you for coming, by the way.
Morning.
Morning, Terry. So you just state your name and
Terry Hoffman, co-director, community transit.
okay.
What we're here for is we're looking for a letter of support to apply for a grant from the FTA. It's a no match grant. And it's strictly for planning purposes. We need to move or expand our building, one or the other. And that's what this is for. We are out of space completely. I'm sure if you drive by there, you see vehicles outside all the time. That is not what we want. It's not what the FTA wants. So we're looking for a letter of support from the county.
About what size grant are you thinking about or possible could get?
We basically need another garage. We have 6 vehicles sitting outside. Our current garage holds 12 vehicles, and we have a wash bay that we squeeze a couple vehicles in there at night as well. The rest are outside.
So this grant is just for the planning part of
This is
a
just for the
move, or
plan.
to look at different possibilities of where you might relocate or
Yes.
expand, or, you know, what the best option is.
Right,
Is that,
and-
so basically consulting kind of thing. Okay.
And the more, of course, the more support you get, we're
Right.
asking for letters
Yeah,
from quite
yeah,
a
we
few
do-
entities.
we do grants a lot. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign a letter of support for the grant application submitted by Community Transit.
Okay, so motion by Van Duzen.
I'll second it.
Second by Schwer. You have a draft here in front of you. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Yeah, it looks like, yeah. So just, in fact, I have a version with a typo I can put on the screen if people want to see what it looks like. But it's perfect. Okay, if that works, let me just throw it up on the screen there so people can see. There's still a typo on this one, but it's other than that, it's just, we put it on county letterhead and then off it we go. So, okay.
All right.
All right. Any other questions or discussion? So hearing none.
Thank you, Terry.
Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We'll say no. Okay. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Hey, so next on the agenda, we have action to approve 2 office chairs in the Director of Equalization Office surplus to be sold with an estimated value of $15 to $20.
Okay, I'll make the
So
motion.
we got a motion by Van
Yeah.
Duzen,
Second.
second by Waterman. Okay, any other questions or discussion?
This is just something we have to procedurally do because it's county
It's
property.
county
Yeah,
property.
I mean, it does, chairs do wear out from time to time. Okay.
Never checked with VSO. Let's see.
But these are great chairs if anybody's interested. It's a heck of a deal.
All right. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Please say no. Okay, that motion carries. Okay, number 14, action to approve a funding agreement with the USGS for flood monitoring services as budgeted.
Right, and this typically, I don't know, somehow this got missed. It's usually done in December. Received a letter saying they hadn't received it yet. So this is again procedurally, those are for flood monitoring systems that are along the way up there, one's by Myron and different places that they are located. It's just a procedure we need to do so that can make it a
Yeah, it's
legitimate
an agreement
agreement.
between us and the USGS for flood monitoring.
We've been doing this for many years, and I don't think the contract has changed. I don't know about the numbers, Brenda.
I think they're the same as well. You have that in your packet.
Yeah.
But,
17,000.
oh no, it did go up some, 10,080. Last year it was 9,933, so it did increase a slight amount.
I would move to approve.
So a motion by Johnson, is there a second? Second by Waterman. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We'll say no. That motion carries. Okay, and number 15, note the Codington County Courthouse receiving the City of Watertown's Yard of the Month designation for the, I guess, the corporate category, even though we're not corporate, we're not, it's really kind of a non-residential category. So congratulations. Thanks for the hard work to Steve, and thanks Steve and Justin. So among others, so the courthouse looks nice out front. Just want to recognize them for that. And it's signed by the mayor. So that's kind of cool. Number 16. Action to approve a cell phone stipend for a new highway employee.
So this is for Clayton Miller. He was a new hire. It would be effective July 1, and the amount of his stipend a month is $25.
Move to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen,
Second.
second by Schwer. Any other questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. We'll say no. That motion carries. Number 17, discussion and possible action to enact a burn ban resolution, I think with our rain, I think if Andrew would be here if we needed to.
I
do
think
it.
we're okay.
Okay, so let's move on from that one.
Leave it on the agenda.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So just so people know, we keep that on the agenda at this time of year, just so in case we need to take action on a burn ban, both to either to put one on or remove one. Number 18, action to approve abatement. application.
No abatements. We do have our monthly claims though.
Okay.
I went through, I just highlighted a few things just to bring to your attention. Government buildings, page 4, that Schumacher Elevator Company, that was for the light repair in the elevator.
Okay.
That's $6,699.
That's really good, by the way.
And page 6, overhead doors, that was in the county jail. They talked about that, replacing those doors. 11,500 is what that came to.
Okay.
Keep going through here. Warranty plumbing out at the Memorial Park for the damage on that one campsite, that's 1783.17, and then down in the ag building where the springs in on that large door. That was 2142.86 to repair that. And other than that, I did not have any, we did not have our state amounts on here yet because of the early bill cutoff, so that'll be on a separate approval coming forward when that needs to be paid. So the total amount for the county's bills this month was $804,667.83.
Move to approve.
Motion by Johnson to pay the bills,
Second.
second by Van Dusen. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Please say no. That motion carries. Number 20, automatic budget supplements.
None today.
And, number
No, no
20.
personnel changes, no
personnel.
travel.
Travel, public notices. We do have a couple things from public notices where we might have a possible quorum of commissioners.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we have the Sioux Valley commissioners meeting, which is going to take place in Flandreau. So the number of commissioners from several counties in the Sioux Valley district will be meeting,
And elected officials.
and elected officials. Yes, right. Yeah, we don't have to worry about quorums with you,
Right.
Cora. So, all right. And then also I think government affairs is tomorrow morning, and then the chamber. I think that's, can't think of anything else. Anything like that. All right. Any old business? Any new business? Okay, hang on. So 26 open. So I think we have some people that want to make public comments. So we have Rita Brownlee. So
Morning.
okay, great. So are both of you going to be speaking?
That's okay.
Yeah, so if it's going to be 2 of you, we'll try to go about 5 minutes apiece.
It's not very long.
Okay,
We can get
all
a
right.
message across. I am gonna hand each of you
Okay,
just some information here that we have that you can look over for. It'll kind of be what we're talking about. Thank you. And thank you again for having us. My name is Rita Brownlee. And you see several people back there. They are a group of concerned residents from Codington County who are fighting against this proposed CO2 pipeline. The pipeline is scheduled to cross my property on the south edge of Watertown. Very close to the city limits. You know, I have city limits on both sides of me out there. It's also, you know, very close to the Big Sioux River. It's close to homes, businesses. My concerns are for the gun range. The softball fields are in that area. It's going to run all the way to the southeast end of my property. So it's close to that, the soccer fields. And there's always a potential on this, you know, line for a rupture. There's no odor to this. And it spreads very quickly. It will go up in a large plume, fall to the ground, and then it spreads out. The first mile of this is very deadly. As a, you know, and depending on the wind, and it could go any direction. I mean, and it's just not a good thing. Regular combustion engine vehicles won't be able to run in the area of this due to the fact that this takes the oxygen out of the area. I spoke to the police department chief and some of the fire department people. They do not have any electric rescue vehicles available at this time and probably won't in the near future due to costs and other things. As far as training for this, they've had hazmat training, but nothing specific to a CO2 pipeline itself, as far as I know. Summit Carbon has not, has talked to the sheriff's office. I believe that possibly if the permit went through, they would provide something, but at this time, nothing has been put into effect. In February of 2020, a rupture occurred in a CO2 pipeline in Satarsha, Mississippi, and it caused people to pass out. They were having seizure-like problems. They have long-term and permanent health issues due to the fact that this is a deadly product. There's several places on those sheets that I gave you and other places that you can go online. You can read about the incident in Mississippi and you can get information about the dangers of CO2 pipelines. The Public Service Commission in North Dakota just recently, I believe just last week, denied Summit Carbon's permitting due to the fact that they said they didn't let them know specific potential risks to people, wildlife, soil, and they didn't address unstable soil conditions. Now, this accident that happened in Mississippi was due to flooding, which eroded the land and which eroded the pipe. And the land that's going across on my property is adjacent to the river, which floods even when we have a low snow amount. It floods every year in that area where they're proposed to go through. So it could be a serious problem. They also said in North Dakota that it was too close to provide growth to the city. They didn't want it there because it was a, it was a potential risk and people wouldn't want to keep on growing in that area. There is a company called, or an entity called PHMSA, which is Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration. They are working on new regulations for pipelines. Summit Carbon is trying to push all this through very quickly so that they can be in there and grandfathered in before any of these take effect. So it kind of makes you wonder if they know some of the reasons that they're doing that. They are telling everybody that this pipeline is safe, and we know it is not. And what we're asking is we'd like to, the county officials to inform the citizens of Codington County and help us fight in this fight against this dangerous project. In June, my husband and I received the condemnation papers. They're threatening eminent domain to take the property. Some of my family, excuse me, this is very emotional. Some of my family members are here today. My daughter-in-law, my daughter, some of my grandchildren. They don't want to lose this property. They've grown up there. The children, the grandchildren have been there, and our home and our business is there. And we want to continue living there, but we also want the landowners around us and the neighbors in the city of Watertown to be safe. So this group that we have here today does not want to be quieted. They want to keep on speaking, and they would really like you to help us if you could make a difference. And I think Wendy has a few items that she'd like to say.
Sure, you had to cry. I'm a sucker for tears. So I think I cried before you guys last year.
So please state your name.
Wendy Schultz.
Okay.
I think one of the most important things that we're requesting, and a lot of people have been requesting from Summit and Navigator Pipelines, is to give us a rupture plume model. And they refuse to do that. If they were to do that, it would quiet fears of the public as to what's going to happen when there is a rupture. We keep hearing radio ads that it's safe. Well, just prove to the public that it is safe. Show us your plume models. And a lot of people would be at rest. And that's something they will not provide. So if that's something in your position, if you could request that, and if they refuse to show it to the public, at least if they would show it to our elected officials, that would be really important. We also are concerned about property values. The land that we were going to build on, we have housing eligibilities there. So how is a dangerous pipeline going to affect our property values? And we would hope that a county would be considering that also. We didn't build there because of the pipeline. And now we're Randy's neighbor. And Rick and I have a serious question for you. How's your goat? We haven't seen your goat.
All this, yeah. You can make a comment during the commissioner comments.
Okay, there's no
Yeah.
comment there.
Yeah.
We drive by there every day and we haven't seen your goat for a while, so I decided to add a little levity to that. There's also a coalition of commissioners that are joining together that are concerned about these pipelines. And it's a coalition throughout our state. And I'm not certain, but there may be other states that are getting involved in that too. So if you as commissioners have deep concerns and are interested in this coalition, because there are obviously other counties that are they put moratoriums on the pipelines because they're concerned about their people. So that's just something else I wanted to throw out there. There's a coalition of commissioners that are joining together because obviously strength in numbers. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. We
Thank you
really
very much for
appreciate
coming
it.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And okay, that brings us to commissioner comments. Do you want to comment on your goat, Commissioner? Sure, that's fine.
We had a goat that was dropped at our farm about 8 years ago, and it's lived there peacefully. And it did pass away just recently, but it would used to jump up on the back of cattle laying in the lot and just take a nap right on the cattle. It was pretty entertaining to us. We don't know where it came from, but we just fed it and took care of it. It was always people driving by noticing, oh, they got a goat.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you.
It's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
A great finish.
Just with regard to our last speakers, so I appreciate your respectfulness and understand that, there's a debate going on about eminent domain and whether or not this is a good, whether or not this is a worthy use. I think there are places for eminent domain. I think the question is now whether or not this is if I could boil it down, maybe whether or not this is the proper use of such a thing. So, and that's a legislative question. I know in other states, there have been some court cases about this, specifically with, whether a county can get involved with pipelines. I think it was a recent decision in, I believe it was Shelby County, Iowa. So those things kind of have an effect on what a county can do, but we appreciate you bringing forth your ideas and sharing the concerns. And just so you know, this is streamed on YouTube, so the public can see your comments. So any other commissioner comments?
Yeah, I do. The more I listen to this pipeline thing, I have questions on eminent domain for private use. And that bothers me greatly. I don't have very many acres in Codington County. I have 20 acres. Would I want them crossing my property without legality? I always had the understanding that eminent domain was more for government and city use for the betterment of the people, but this seems to be for the betterment of a private company. That's all I have to say at this time.
Any other comments? Okay, so we'll close the open, and we do have a need for executive session for a contract issue. So that's it's gonna be number two and three. So
I'll move that we move into executive
So motion
session.
by Johnson.
I'll second it.
Zach, second by Schwer, and all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So we're in executive session. There'll be no interesting action after executive session, so we just need to talk about a contract issue. So. All right, we adjourn. Okay.